Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are watching matches number 2 of the night. This is going to be Prophecy going up against JusTus. JusTus just bombed out their match against Envy. Games 2 and 3 within 1 point on each. A round in S&D after a choked lead, and just a very close uplink game where they weren't able to close out. Nameless hitting the 1-point shot to seal the deal for Envy. But now JusTus in a terrible position. If they lose right here, they're putting themselves in a terrible place for tomorrow, where they could potentially finish in a 9th or 10th position overall, not making it into Season 1 for the playoffs.
They have to win this match. There's really no other option for it. I mean, it's definitely a must-win, that they don't want to end up having their kind of season be put in the hands of AR, who's been playing so hot as of late. And currently, right now, we see Props taking that early lead in this hardpoint retreat, one of the maps that Prophecy definitely sells on.
I can't believe that JusTus is in this position. They started the season in the top 3. They were really up there in all of the first, I think it was like first 3.5 weeks, if not the first 4 weeks. They're in the top 3, battling at times for number 2 and even number 1. And Classic and Moch, they've been a part of this lineup since the get-go, now playing with Sensor. And Slacked is still here, of course. Apathy missing tonight, but you got to wonder, how are they feeling after that big loss to Envy?
They have to be in turmoil after losing to Envy, because now they know how important this match is. With your you never want to be in the situation they're in right now. You're back against the wall in a must-win situation. Your entire 44-game season relies on this one match.
So many matches played leading up to this point. We'll see how they close things out. Moch trying to stay alive, working around the outside. Down by 20 points already, though, and it is legal inside with the ASM-1. He's going to fall. Embos is going to fall as well. Ricky working now with Fears. And let's stick with Ricky.
Using that IMR, we see more and more players using this gun. At range, Puckett, it's extremely effective. We see a lot of people, one burst players, kind of like the M8, and you see how fast right there it drops players.
Ricky able to pick up 2 before falling. Over to Embos now from Prop. Embos, solid slow shots there with the ASM-1. Ricky coming back in, and I like the way he's playing this. He's playing just the doorways.
Right. Those long alley angles. He's playing doorway to doorway. And an interesting stat I want to give you, Puckett. In Season 1, Prophecy has never lost a hardpoint to JusTus.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Never.
In all of their matchups.
And they've matched up 3 times?
Yes, so far they have matched up 3 times. Prophecy leads the series 3-0 in the season, has never dropped the hardpoint.
They're leading this one by about 15 seconds as JusTus trying to hold on to the bottom hardpoint. As I say that, they lose control. Sensor trying to rotate over, and it looks like Moch is going to hop into that HP. So here comes the pressure from the top stairs. First player cleaned up. Classic's going to get a second. Moch with 2 more players on his hands, and he's got a nice melee there, keeping Slack safe. Nice job by JusTus. They're right back in the game. It's all tied up 75 and growing now for JusTus. Sensor picks up another melee.
Sensor on fire right now on a 6 streak. 7 streak. Absolutely huge play right there from Sensor to control that hill. This is one of the better hills to control. You want to control this bottom hill, the turtle hill, and then the next hill, that last hill on rotation, Puckett. Absolutely huge. You can see the Prophecy guys already started rotating over as Sensor is heating up.
Are you kidding me, Sensor? You're looking like Scump right now, my friend. 14 and 12, 8 kill spree, and they put you on the bench earlier this week. I don't get it. Sensor's been playing so solid all night long.
They've been trying to find different rosters that would work, and I think what they really needed to do is just to commit to a roster early and stick with it for the rest of the season. Since the trading deadline, they've been back and forth with all different combinations of players.
Shots all over the stairs. Sensor inside the hill, gonna fall. Down goes Classic as well. It's Prophecy taking over. You got Fears and Ricky. We're breaking in. Fears is gonna stay up top with his bow. Meanwhile, Ricky, we'll see if he's sticking with the IMR. He's on top of the team with 6 captures, and he's actually switched back over to the ASM-1 for this hardpoint.
Ricky's a very versatile player. A lot of people don't realize that. He can go back and forth. A lot of people, they kind of put him in the category as a Mochilla or a slower, turtle-ish type player. But Ricky can actually do multiple things. He's very good with a sub, very good with an AR, and play a great all-around game.
Why doesn't Ricky get more love? What's his weakness?
He's very quiet. You never hear about Ricky on social media. You never see Ricky streaming too much. He's really kind of,
he's a out
of sight, out of mind. There were times during Ghosts where we would get ready to go to a tournament, and I would say to Maven and whatnot, I'd be like, where is Ricky? Does he even play anymore? You never saw him on Scrimmin. You never really heard a lot about him, but keeps himself really under the radar, but a very talented player.
The guys on Optic Gaming knew about him, working with Nadeshot over there in Chicago. Ricky living very close to the Optic house, is good friends with all those guys, member of Optic Nation as well for last season, but now kind of the leader of Prophecy now that Parasite is officially out of the picture. You got to think he's been their shot caller all evening.
Absolutely. I know since Parasite has left, he's definitely been the voice of Prophecy, definitely calling all the shots for this team, helping No Legal and Fears develop into two of some of the better players in Advanced Warfare. You know, these guys have been tearing it up in the COD League. No Legal, one of the rising stars in the league.
Legal trying to hold it down. It is a 50-point advantage for JusTus, almost 40-point advantage now, as you're going to see Prophecy holding down to this statue hardpoint. Really, Matt, on this hard point, what is the secret to lock down? Because it looked like right there, JusTus just simply did a three-man rush over that wall.
JusTus did a good job putting one player in through that lobby area and then people jumping up towards that pool jump up. A lot of teams we see, they just keep jumping up onto that pool area and they never works because, you know, then you can focus all your fire there. As soon as you get one player in lobby, it makes the player in the hill make a decision. Do I back up all the way and let them get on the hill, or do you challenge? When they decide to challenge, you have the player on lobby and the player in that pool jump up. You can't shoot both of them at once, so you're usually able to break it pretty easily.
Slacked had a good hard point against Envy. He's now 28-19 against Prophecy on a 6-kill streak. Sensor, though, still on top of the leaderboard with 8 captures, 25-20. He's +5. And you got Classic also putting up some big numbers with Moch. So everyone on JusTus outslaying Prof. And that is going to be the big reason why our scoreboard is going to show 68 points in favor of JusTus for the moment. Slack contesting the hard point. 2 players inside, going to get one before falling. Ricky's going to hold down the hill, though, and this is where Prof could make up some ground.
Anytime Prof gets right here is a huge win for them, Puckett, but you see JusTus, they're able to break that with 3 kills, 2 from Mochella, 1 from Classic. Anytime that they get here, Prof would be huge. They just want to contest this hill, and they want to rotate and take that bottom hill. And if they can leave that bottom hill down by maybe 15 or 10 seconds going into that final hill, that's when they can really make a comeback. But right now, JusTus doing a great job fighting for this hill.
The Gamma's kicking in for Sensor, 30-21. He's +11, leading all players in the lobby right now. Slacked right behind him. 4 players inside the hard point, though, for Prof, and Legal and Fears will hold on to the hard point after that 2-piece. Actually, one of those on Embos. And speaking of Embos, the former captain of Optic Nation is still looking for a COD Champs team potentially if Ricky goes elsewhere. 18-34. Not the best of starts here for him in Hardpoint.
Tough start for Bose here in Hardpoint. Though he's going to have no captures of the hill as well, so something we usually don't see Money B do. You know, usually he's doing that great OBJ work, playing pretty well, struggling in this series against JusTus right now.
What's going on with Money B?
I think it's a lot of pressure on what's going on with Champs. I think you can't say that those two things aren't separated. Imagine, you know, $1 million event being a professional player, not having a set home to play with on Saturday.
Especially when you finished 3rd the previous year and you really enjoyed that big paycheck.
Yeah, I imagine you did.
Ricky on your screen now for Prof as JusTus looking like they should take this game number 1 down to the last 60 seconds. That is going to be plenty as they will have it mathematically locked up. Now the question is who on JusTus is going to finish with the most kills. You got a tight race, 35, 35, and 34 at the top 3. Moch behind him at 28.
Well, I threw that stat out earlier that, you know, JusTus has never beaten Prof in a hard point in the league. You see Bose leave the game right now.
Yeah, he's like, don't look at my stats, I'll go host.
Yep. And going into Riot S&D, Prophecy leads the head-to-head versus JusTus in Search and Destroy in the COD League 4-1. So you would favor that map to Prof again, but obviously, you know, with the way this hard point turned out, much different than I know what has happened in past games.
Final score going to be 250-157. Ricky and Fear staying in the game. Everyone else dipping out early as Prof is going to go host next. Search and Destroy coming up right here on MLG.TV. Once again, big shout out to all of the guys on JusTus after a 3-0 beating from Envy. They make a statement here against Prof in Hardpoint.
They needed that win in Hardpoint. Definitely clears the bad taste out of their mouth, and that loss against Envy puts them on the right track here against Prof.
Classic finishing 38-25. With a 4-kill streak at the end. He is going to lead the team in kills as well as the lobby. We'll be back with Game 2 after this.
Turbo mode enabled.